within easy reach of cool beverages. I came through the first line of drying sheets and got a good look at the woman before she noticed me. She was in her late 40s and wearing a loose summer dress. Her glossy black hair was pulled back into a ponytail. She was slim and tall with dark brown skin. Her hands hung empty at her sides. Her eyes were fixed on a point on the ground, maybe 15 feet in front of her. I moved forward and saw what she was looking at. A second woman was face down, her body splayed in an awkward position. I ignored the standing woman and moved to the casualty on the ground. She had a small pistol loosely held in her right hand, muzzle in the grass. Her fingers moved across the grip, which meant that she was alive. I had a moment's hesitation before I touched the weapon. The police wouldn't like that. But the police weren't there. I removed the gun from her hand and dropped the magazine. I cleared the chamber and put all the pieces down. Beneath the woman's head, blood pooled among the rich green stalks and seeped into the black soil. Insects had already gotten involved, interested, hungry, insistent. She was breathing raggedly. Her body was moving in a repetitive way, slowly twitching, fingers grasping at nothing. I turned to the one standing. "What happened, ma'am?" Her eyes shifted to me.
"She tried to shoot me. Then she shot herself."
"Call 911. The standing woman ignored me. I said it again. "Ma'am, please go inside and call 911. The woman on the ground made a sound, something between a moan and a howl, but with meaning and syllables. 2 words. No police. I examined her dispassionately. Definitely wounded, but conscious and able to express herself. I turned her carefully into the recovery position and took a better look. She'd blown a hole in the left side of her face from the inside out. The wound was engorged with blood, the exposed tissue scorched and inflamed. It probably looked worse than it was, but she might have internal bleeding or hemorrhaging inside her skull from the explosion. She needed medical attention. I turned to the one standing, tried to figure out if she was in shock. The standing woman gazed into my eyes like she was looking for something. She said,
"Who the hell are you?"
"I was across the street and heard the gunshots."
"That right. Normally people move away from gunshots, not closer to them."
She stepped toward the wounded woman.
"And don't call me ma'am. Makes me feel like a grandmother, and I'm nobody's grandmother."
The wounded woman's eyes were open, staring straight ahead, which for her was into the grass. Her breathing was shallow. She looked to be in her late 30s, blonde hair cut in a bob. The tall woman knelt down to look.
"She doesn't want us to call 911. Maybe she's got a reason."
She motioned to the ground.
"She's got a purse."
The wounded woman moaned again, this time not as loud. But her words were clear, and there was no confusion.
"No police. Please."
Which made no sense. If you don't want to attract police, why go out in public firing a weapon at another person than yourself? But that's exactly what she had done, which meant that her making sense wasn't a reasonable expectation. As a veteran combat medic, I knew that I could provide some form of care right there and then. None of it would be enough if she had brain trauma. I looked around at the scene, getting my bearings and visualizing what had happened. The younger woman had come up from the street, maybe first to the front door, then over to the yard when she noticed the tall one hanging laundry. She'd pulled the pistol from her purse, fired twice, and missed both times. After that, she had inserted the barrel into her mouth and blown her face out. I was operating under the assumption that the woman had hoped to put a bullet through her brain, not her cheek. It looked like a couple of teeth had been caught up in the blast, which made a tough day even worse. The wounded woman coughed loudly and rolled into a seated position. She looked ghastly with half of her face shot off. She put out a hand to steady herself and moaned again. I could barely understand the words. "Help me." The tall woman said,
"We can bring her into my house."